Okay, Joe.
Hello, hello.
Okay, now I'm
Try
hearing
just
lots of.
aggressively click your own microphone button. It wouldn't let me do it, but I clicked the fuck out of it, and then it unmuted me. So maybe try that.
And that's coming straight from Tina Case, dear herself. And by the way, that was a technical term. Click the fuck out of it. So Joe, if you can, we hear you, Joe?
Can you hear me?
Oh my God!
It's working now. I can
Praise,
unclick it.
Yeah.
praise the Lord and pass the mustard. Here's the thing, folks.
I actually
I'm gonna
didn't have to
ask-
click the fuck out of it. I just clicked it.
I know you have to take that step. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you, except for Joe, please mute your microphone, just to try to eliminate chaos. I appreciate it a great deal, and I think we're going to proceed. But I'm going to have to continue to admit because we've got some late joiners. Joe,
Okay.
First of all, thank you for your patience and for joining us tonight.
No problem.
What a thrill! What a thrill! So one of the things I thought that was, and by the way, everyone, this is being recorded. So if anyone can't join, we will be able to share this accordingly. One of the things I was thinking about that makes this discussion perfect is that we're T-minus 24 hours or so from the season 5 premiere for us Patreon members.
Right.
So, and you're a dad like me. I've got 2 sons. You're a dad, right? So
I am.
So here's an analogy I was thinking of. And you tell me if this is valid.
Okay.
It seems like if this was like the day before your 5th child is born, you've got some excitement, you're proud, you want the world to like your kid, right? Is that a similar feel to how you feel on the eve of your new season coming out? Tell us about it.
It's a little bit like that, but it's kind of not like a 5th kid because it's kind of about it's more like one kid, that's kind of grown over time. So I guess this is like, first day of 5th grade.
Right.
More
Okay,
like
good.
that.
That makes sense.
That
makes perfect sense.
Than it is about like a brand new child.
Right. Yeah, that's because I've only got 2 kids. I don't have 5, but that makes more sense. So are you excited for the new season?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's strange. This day is always strange for me because for me, this season started, probably a couple of months ago because that's when, everything sort of started ramping up. And so this is, so it's great for everyone to be here with me now, finally, because this is where I've been for the past, couple of months.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's great to be sort of back in the swing of things. It was like the stress of it is familiar now, and so now when I feel the stress, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this feeling. This is completely I understand this. This is exactly this is how I feel most of the year. Okay, great, I'm back now. Yeah,
correct, because you're a masochist.
Sort of like,
you don't take any time off. That's been evident for a while now.
We took a little bit of time off. We do a lot, during the hiatus, but I guess we took a little more time off this time than usual, but then we added the live show to it. And so it kind of negated the time we took off.
And by the way, okay, before we go any further, how are you with receiving praise? Do you hate it? Does it make you cringe? Or are you okay with accepting it? Because I need to tone my effusiveness accordingly. Okay?
You can go full effusiveness if you want to. That's totally fine.
Oh, good. Here we go. Joe Fisher, you're a fucking genius.
Okay.
There you go. Own it.
Thanks.
Here's the latest evidence. BurgerCon. So, I was expecting, I've heard other podcasts have a live event and it's just kind of like a chaotic, the crowd reacts to things and maybe some jokes or whatever. I wasn't expecting a full episode. And how perfect.
Oh, right.
How you wove into, the local NPR affiliate. Genius. and then to weave, Leaf and his, massive love life into it. How perfect. I mean, it was above and beyond. And I'll say, I think I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of fellow fans, is like, we weren't expecting all that much other than fun. You over delivered with that episode for real. And it just sounded like a ball. And everyone that's in the group and elsewhere on Patreon that were there, of course, major jealousy, because it sounds like it was just an incredible thing for everyone. So
it was really great. It was a great experience, and it was great. It was yet another time in which I completely misjudged how popular something would be. You know what I mean? Probably the first big misjudgment was probably the big list at the end. The big list at the end. I was thinking, hey, someday we'll have 200 people on there, maybe, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now it literally, and now I clocked it yesterday. It takes over a half an hour for me to get through that
Sure.
list. And so so that was the kind of the first big misjudgment. And this was really just another one in a long list of them. But when we put the tickets on sale and they sold out in I think 20 minutes the first time, and then the second time when we added the second night, they sold out in like I think less than a minute. They sold out.
You're like the Rolling
so
Stones.
It was,
I mean, my God.
Yes, it's completely exactly the same as the Rolling Stones. But it was. I mean, honestly, I felt terrible because there are a lot more people who wanted to go, and
Myself
we
included.
were sort of. I'm sorry, Jeff.
I was on the
we
wait
were
list.
We were left with this feeling like how many people would have shown up? Like we don't actually know, so it was a big lesson learned, and so we've got in terms of live shows, we've got a lot to figure out. But we learned a lot of things, and we figured out. I mean, what I personally figured out is that when it comes to things like live shows and live events, just in general, not just for us, but I think for other people, is that I think that people, really do want to like go out. They really do want to go out, and they do want to, meet people and stuff like that. I think that there's another level to it though these days. And I think that like when it comes to live events, I think people, they need to be meaningful. There needs to be some meaning behind those events, and that there needs to be a reason other than we're just going to go out and hang out. There needs to be like a point to it and something that goes beyond just recreation.
Sure. Well, and you did, and that's the point. That was like more than a recreational exercise. I mean, you delivered to us an unexpected, fantastic episode. I mean,
well,
it's great.
I mean, I was happy with the episode, and it was great for everyone to be there, and it's great because we had so much audience participation. That was really great to like bring people into the fold and sort of make it feel like we all made this together. That's always the feeling that we're trying to sort of come up with. But the great thing was just kind of, it was really more about just the fans getting to meet each other, because a lot of them, like they knew each other's names, and they knew they recognized their name from the end or something like that. And it was great. It was great to watch all those people meet each other. It was great to watch that sort of social event take place, and all because of this, all because of us just behind our computers, just like making shit up.
Making art. Come on, making fucking arts. Okay, and listen, on that point, I have a fun little thing to share with everyone. So everyone, Jeff Baker here. Thanks so much for joining us. When I sent Joe an invitation to join us for this discussion, it was really kind of a last minute thing. I was in Toronto at the film festival last weekend, and so it's just been chaotic. But it was actually Bill White. Kudos to Bill White in our group, who mentioned something that he would love to see another interview like we did with Tina Case a few months ago. Kudos to Tina Case. And I was like, I've been wanting to invite Joe. And so thank you for Joe responded pretty instantly. And then I created the artwork, right, for tonight's event. And I showed it to him, and his response was, quote, "Good Lord, I look like I run a cult." And my immediate response in all caps was, "You do." Your cult, Joe Fisher. That's how it feels. It feels like, but here's the thing. Unlike all the ones that are burning down houses and taking Kool-Aid, this is pure health. This is pure, again, kindness. That's when I created this Facebook group last November, it's almost a year now. It was all about trying to embody what the experience is as a listener to Midnight Burger. And that is, and I mentioned this in my long-winded damn voicemail that I left for you and Finley, was it's so awesome how you weave into your writing and the show, how you embrace LGBTQ, and how, again, you've got strong women characters, all those things that are really important. And to be able to try to in any way emulate that feel in our group has kind of been the mission for me. And we've been kind of doing that just because our people are awesome. And there's a shared sense of community in being part of, this fan group. I say we're like the island of misfit toys, just loving each other, so anyway, thanks for creating the cult, Joe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good. Okay, I've got more people to admit here. So I am going to, instead of selfishly just, hog the hour of questions that we have, I'm going to start sharing questions from other users, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Let's see here. When you saw Midnight Burger get popular, do you have a set number of seasons set out for? Which is actually, and that's from my friend Bill, which is actually something I was thinking about too. I don't know if you ever watched the show Lost when it was on, but I know that the creators of Lost had a map in their head and on the wall of what they were looking to achieve, and they went like this to get there. Is Bill's question, do you have a specific, number of seasons, number of episodes in mind? Do you have an end game in mind, without any spoilers? Because I hate spoilers, but just in general, is it already mapped out, or does it evolve based on your characters?
I don't really have a set number of seasons mapped out. No, I mean, I think that with this season coming up, I think there was a lot of things that started in season 1 that have been developing for a really long time, and I think a lot of those will feel like a nice, a certain sense of closure, I think, in this season that's coming up. But I didn't really see that as an ending. The thing about the show is that maybe another thing that I wasn't expecting is that the more we worked on the show, the bigger the show got and the bigger the world got. And it was, it became this thing that's sort of, it went from like a game of Pac-Man to like an open world, video game, Yeah. And so there's a lot to explore, and there's a lot of different directions to go with it. And I think that, I don't know. I guess I just figured I would just keep going until I was done.
Okay.
And so, this current season, that's not there. I think there'll be parts of it that'll feel like things have been wrapped up nicely. Some things have been kind of wrapped up nicely, but I think, in the end, I didn't imagine an ending. I just sort of decided to keep going until we were done doing it, I guess. And we don't really feel close to that right now.
Good. Okay, the music's in my ears and everyone's ear. The worst thing you could have said is, we're going to stop after season 5. I'd be like, by the way, you just reminded me of another question I was thinking of, and this is going to sound weird. Did you play Half-Life 2 as a video game?
No way.
Well, here's the thing. And I confess, my favorite episode of Midnight Burger, I love all of them in truth, but Welcome to the Triad to me is just perfect. The ending is so perfect, the way Ava comes in, but everything about it, and it has something. And the reason I asked about Half-Life 2, when you play Half-Life 2, it's a first-person shooter. It's kind of a seminal game, and it's awesome. And there are a handful of moments throughout the game when you have a certain achievement where Valve, the creators, they would weave in like a heartbeat, like rock song, and it would accentuate that moment of kind of triumph as you're playing. And you've done that a few times throughout Midnight Burger, and you did it in Welcome to the Triad when young Bert gets taken for a ride by Virgin. She's like, no, and you're like, boom, it comes in, and like, yes. So I just didn't know. I thought that perhaps that could have been inspired by you playing Half-Life 2.
No,
genius.
that was not inspired by Half-Life. No, that was just that music is it's by a duo named Freesia.
I love Freesia. Thank you.
They're
for real.
I went to high school with them. There's some friends of mine from high school.
That was going to be another question. Because Kids Fill the Floor is like my favorite ambient music to listen to when I've got to
it's really great.
Hardcore. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's kind of my perpetual sound bed, and it's all thanks to you. So you guys went to high school together? That's it?
Yeah, it was my Freesia is Mike McGroarty and Nick Huntington, and I went to so we all went to high school together. And they, after high school, they went off and they sort of created some electronic music together, and it was great stuff. And honestly, I mean, I think that was a very long time ago. I can't remember how long ago it was that they made those albums. And when we first started, when we were working on something called Omega Station, that was the first thing that we ever did, which was like a 3-part miniseries.
Beautiful.
I needed some music, and so I sent Nick an email. I say, can I use some Freesia music in this thing I'm doing? He had no idea what I was talking about. He was just like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And so it was great. And so just, I mean, having that music for that moment was, you know, like when that moment came together, it was really something. Yeah, for sure.
You've used those moments sparingly throughout the 5 or about to be 5, but there's only been a handful of times when you've woven in like a jam, and it's just like boom,
Right.
it's just such a kick in the ass. I love it, flippin' love it. Okay, ready for the next question? All right, here we go. Oh my God, this one is very loquacious. Let's see here.
Loquacious. All right.
Yeah, loquaciously written. Greetings and salutations, Lil Stevie Pie here. I think you met Stevie Pie at the BurgerCon. He was one of the
We know Little Stevie Pie very well. Yeah.
he was one of the assholes I was jealous of, and I mean asshole in a really kind way. A couple 2-3 questions for Joe, because why limit yourself to one?
Sure.
I think just about every listener went crazy banana pants. It's a technical term as well. When you issued a call out for voices in upcoming episodes, I'm pretty sure you have an idea of each character's voice as you create them. So will you be looking for, see, look, this is inside baseball.
Is he looking
Stevie
for
Pie.
a gig right now? Is this?
I guess. What the hell? By the way, I've done voiceover, and I'm going to submit. I've just been too slam. Also, I will be in your future home of Iceland in October for a few hours in October. Is there anything I can grab for you or Finley? Let's do that. That's
Why is he going to be there for a few hours?
That's a great question too. I assume he's on the run from the authorities. Would be my guess. You know,
Right.
like an engagement present. Oh yes, by the way, thank you. Congratulations, Joe. You are
Thank you
going to
very
be
much,
married.
yes.
You are going to be marrying up, my friend. Finley is amazing. Not that you're not, but you know, every man's prerogative to marry up, and I'm just beyond thrilled for the two of you. And
Thank you very much.
by the way, do you see these special effects that we're getting? Like,
Yeah, someone just made
fireworks and-
confetti happen.
I love it. That's very
out of the corner
appropriate.
of my screen.
And they're
Yeah, it's
totally,
great.
yeah, they're accentuating the discussion. Okay. Let me see if there's any other like real questions from Stevie Pie. No. So, yeah, do you want anything from,
He was just
anything
looking
from
for
Iceland?
a gig.
I guess. Well, that too. Yeah. Of
Anything
course.
from Iceland.
Yeah.
You know, so just if he could grab me a pair of necro pants, that would be great.
Necropants. Oh my God. Dude, that episode.
Don't look
scared
it
the
up,
hell out of me.
anyone. Don't
No,
look it up.
just listen to what and to shift notes, all the good stuff. All right. Yeah. Okay. Here's something from Tamara Taylor. This is
Okay.
Ty the Wonder Hamster from the Discord. I love Ty.
Wow.
By the way, Tamara's a fine name, but please consider legally changing your name to Ty the Wonder Hamster. That would look awesome on a driver's license. First of all, thank you for sharing what you create with us. See, there we go. It's all about gratitude, Joe, and that's true. My question comes from something you talked about in audio drama school. Which moments in the show were you most excited to write? And did they turn out the way you had initially planned? It's a great question.
There's a lot of, I mean, the way that I plan out a season in general is to make a collection of moments that I like. So it's not about creating a story that's like beat it out and necessarily. It's really just about creating a list of the things that I want to do, and then figuring out what the connective tissue is between those things. So, you know, an example, I guess, would be like in season 4, I was excited about, like you were like Welcome to the Triad. I was excited about engineering a way to get back into that moment and tell that story, you know, in the past, and then linking it to what was happening in the future. I was excited about having a moment where Ava could go like full Ava and really be the devastating person that she can be, because, you know, I think when Ava's at the diner, I think she's kind of pulling her punches a little bit, and to sort of see the gloves come off. That was something that I was excited about doing. I was excited about the diner being in one place for a minute, and rather than the diner going somewhere else, having the sort of the craziness come to the diner. I was excited about David. I was excited about that relationship. You know, I was excited about the, you know, I think the usual inclination is to have a character like David be always like an offstage presence, like always someone you never see, but that's always talked about. And so I like to go in to those moments and say, no, let's bring him into the story. And, let's move past the moment where there was trauma and what is on the other side of that moment and what's the redemptive part of that, because I think that people might have a tendency to stop there and sort of say, this is a story of my trauma, but what is after that? And how does it keep going? So it was so really like what you're seeing in every episode is really just a long list of all of my favorite moments. And then I come up with connective tissue for all of them.
Absolutely. By the way, you brought to mind another question. So you talked about Ava pulling her punches. Ava particularly pulls her punches with Casper because she loves Casper and she doesn't want anyone to know it. But it's evident how you brilliantly write it, how she respects and treats Casper differently, and she would hate to admit to what I just said, right? But it's as an example in the I think it was in the Pyrofight episode when again there's this tender moment and it's ended with you're stupid, and I swear to God that almost made me fucking cry. You're stupid. You're stupid.
You're so accusatory when you say that, Jeff.
It's true. It's true, and I mean that as such a compliment. And I'm not a crier, but my God, it's just so amazing the relationship that you've created between Ava and Casper, as an example. All these relationships, but it just seems like a very difficult thing to write, to make these two, because Ava is an attacker, and again, she's arrogant as fuck in terms of her intelligence, and she's always right. And I was married for 22 years to a woman who was always right, and I still respect her for it. Anyway, so I get it. It's my point, right? This is probably why I'm crying at the time I'm hearing this. I'm like, oh my God. This is the magic that you weave, my friend. It's awesome. And again, it's fun in our group, as an example, how we get into these little discussions and these things that are personal to us. You realize it's not just us that they're personal to, they're personal to everyone who's a fan. And so back to BurgerCon for a second ago, one of the things that I'm sure for those fans that were able to be there is not unlike what I'm experiencing now, is that when you listen to these episodes, and it's the only set of media entertainment that I truly can think of where it's better every time I hear it. And I confess that I've probably listened to every damn episode somewhere between 5 and 50 fucking times. And every time I get something else out of it. And so to have this intimacy in your ears, right, with a character that you envision, and then to be able to, boom, share oxygen with that person. That's awesome. That's beyond breaking the fourth wall. It's like the intimacy that you've created, boom, there is the creator of that. So anyway, I'm sure that contributes to how those experiences, again, from the fans are able to spend time with all of you guys, just becomes that much more special. Okay. Try not to be too effusive with my praise, as I mentioned earlier. All right. So thank you, Tay-Tay Tay-Tay the Wonder Hamster.
Yeah.
That name deserves...
Tai. I think it was Tai.
Okay, Tai. There we go. Tai. It depends on what accent you use. Tai the Wonder Hamster deserves a little emoticon. All right. Tori Schultz. Here is a question for Tori. Let's see. Oh my God. So I think she recorded this in audio, and I don't think I can share audio. So Tori, so I'm gonna hit. Here we go. Once I realized I wouldn't be able to share the video, I said, "Can you please type it up for me?" And she did. Here we go. Hi Joe, big fan. This show has really helped me feel like I've found my people. The cult. I'm telling you, I was reading The Last Question by Isaac Asimov, and I feel like I noticed some moments in the show that maybe nod to this piece. Did this short story help inspire the show, or did any other lesser known or well-known pieces of literature help inspire you?
I've been asked that a lot about,
are you sick of it?
What
are you sick of being asked?
No, I'm not sick of it at all. I wish I had a better answer, because when I try and track, where it all came from, I think that, I think that it all came from, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I kind of we just started doing it. And it's, I had the premise, I had what I wanted it to be. I had what I wanted it to feel like, and I kind of just started writing. And I'm trying to pinpoint like there was never a point where I said, I want to make something like that, or I
Oh,
want to
really?
make something like this. No, I don't think so.
Well, there
I've
had to be
been
a tip.
really.
Let me say, but you had to have some moment when you wanted to write a sci-fi podcast, right? I mean, like, what was? So there was, and so the question about Isaac Asimov, I think it's a good one. And if not for that, then can you think of one particular source for you feeling, I've got a great story to tell. Let's have it set in a time spanning, dimension spanning, diner, for God's sakes.
I mean, I'm not kidding. I don't think so. I can't think of one. But I will say, but I mean, the thing about things like, where things come from and what you're inspired from. I mean, I think that, when people try, and I think people never really know, because I think those things can sometimes can be so ingrained that you really would need like some sort of like emotional DNA test to figure out where something actually came from. And there's such a long tradition of these stories that you don't know where things come from sometimes, because it's underneath your conscious mind at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you, I do know what you mean. And what's in the back of my mind as you're saying this? Back of my mind, I hear Effie and Zebulon saying, sounds like a miracle, Casper.
Sure. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to.
Divine intervention. Own it.
Yeah. I mean, you can call it that. You can call it, collective unconscious. You can call it whatever you want. I just don't call it anything, I guess. I just keep doing the show. Yeah.
Leave that to Effie and Zebulon. Okay, here we go. So
Sure.
With much love from Prince Island, Canada, comes a question from Stephen Wilson. Your work, Joe, here we go. So quote, your work along with the cast has been such a blessing to me over the past few years. So thank you so very much. Boom. Again, no question the gratitude. My question, do you ever find yourself getting attached to a character you've written beyond what you've planned for them? There are some smaller roles that just beg for more. Edgy Steve, Minsky, Ted, just to name a few, end quote.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard to say that I don't think that there's any character that I've left underdeveloped, or that I feel like there's more to do that I don't have some plans for already. There are some characters that I feel
you ever
like
put them on the shelf?
Mad.
Like for later to visit again later? Do you ever do that?
Oh yeah, for sure. But so like whenever there's the thing about the story being so big and so expansive is that
correct.
When we start working on a character, if I feel like there's more to it and I feel like there's more going on, then you definitely take that character and you sort of put them in the to-do box. And you are sure to get back to it. That's how I was with Verge. Verge was, as the character developed, then there was obviously a lot more to do with that character, and so I definitely
that's so amazing.
Verge is definitely sort of in the inbox for me to work on. And there's a few more characters like that, people that you've seen in the show that I just haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah,
really.
Good. Okay, that's cool. So that gives us hope for the characters that we have like a secret love for.
Sure.
like Minsky and like all the. Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay, so next question from Lana, and I'm gonna try. Here we go. Lana. Oh, here we go. It's not as hard. I want you to think about it. Lana Krolikowski. Lana Krolikowski. It looks more difficult than it is because it would definitely be a great Scrabble word. What do you miss most, Joe, about being away from a season, aka during the hiatus?
Well, probably Night Breakfast is what I miss the most. So for those of you who don't know, we on the subscriber Discord, we do something called Night Breakfast, where we all pile into the live channel, and I stream the episode, and everybody chats along and eats breakfast at night. And that is, it's a weird gig because you make this thing and you send it out into the world, and you're still just kind of sitting there at home, and people comment about it on the internet and they really like it and they, click on it and all that stuff. And all that's really great. But the night breakfast is kind of like, I mean, other than the live show, the night breakfast is the closest thing to like having a live audience that that we can have. And it's really, it's always like a really fun, great event. So I think that's the thing that I miss the most.
In episode 1, you guys talk about night breakfast as characters, right? And I'm spacing the name of the character. Who runs the diner for you guys? Who joined from Arizona?
Gloria.
Gloria says, as you guys are describing night breakfast, and like, for instance, she says, that sounds straight up erotic, which is like so perfect. And I agreed with her as she was saying that. Okay, cool. So again, not really miss so much. And there's one other question from Lana Karlikowski. If you could have any pet, if you let's get crazy here, because I have an answer already. If you could have any pet, what would it be?
Me personally, or like you want? Is this another person asking for a cat at the diner? Is this?
No, there's no hidden agenda here. That's literally the extent of Lana Banana. So Lana Banana, Lana Karlikowski. If you could have any pet, what would it be? Quote unquote. So that's it.
Okay, so I can have any animal I want as a pet.
Oh yes,
is what they're saying.
Of course.
When I was working in Hollywood more back in the day, I had a pitch for an animated show that I took around to like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, all those places when those places still like actually existed.
Yeah.
And it was called My Invisible Gorilla.
Oh.
And it was about a high school kid who his best friend becomes this gorilla who was like tested on by a scientist and turned invisible, and the gorilla is really attached to the kid and so follows him around everywhere and is really protective of the kid, but nobody can see the gorilla. And so there's always things like happening, like bullies are bullying him and the gorilla starts screaming at the bullies from out of nowhere and stuff like that. So the idea of having like an invisible gorilla that follows me around everywhere, that seems pretty fun. I love gorillas. I'm a big fan of gorillas. They're my favorite land animal.
Oh, there we go. So that's a perfect answer. So the answer is a silverback big ass gorilla as your henchman, so that no one will mess with you.
No, I don't want to say henchman. No, it's a friendship. It's a partnership.
But in your cartoon concept, wasn't it kind of like the boys' own henchmen? It's like the bullies don't mess with that kid anymore.
They were friends. The thing is that the kid. Let's really get into this pitch. You ready?
Let's do it.
The kid, like he moved, like after school, he's the janitor. He's sweeping up at the lab, and that's how he knows the gorilla. And so the gorilla is now invisible and escapes the lab, and so the gorilla tracks the kid down because that's the one person that he trusts. And so now the gorilla and the kid are like buddies.
How the hell was this never greenlit? This is awesome.
How in the world is the question, Jeff? Yes.
Well, I'm going to hold out hope that this will be your retirement project. Will be to get this damn cartoon on there.
Your retirement project, sure.
I mentioned in my text to you that I'm friends with Phil Hendry. I don't know if you know who Phil Hendry is. He used to be syndicated radio. He was syndicated radio. He's a satirist. He used to be syndicated across like 300 stations around the U.S., but since 2009, he's a pure podcaster. But he also does a lot of voiceover work, including animation. And I don't know if you've seen Midnight Gospel, not Midnight Mass, which is a vampire show, but on the animated.
I haven't seen Midnight Gospel. It's
Midnight
like
Gospel's animated.
It's like on my list, on my to-do list. Yeah.
It's real weird. It's kind of, I've never done acid, but I imagine it's got to be similar to watching that cartoon. Well, Phil Hendry is the only voice that's on it other than, and I can't remember the guy who created the show, but Phil Hendry's voice is the voice of the computer. And so he's in every episode. Anyway, that's an animated show. To be honest, sounds less cool than yours. By the way, if I were going to answer this question, not that she asked me, but I'm going to interweave my response. I would love to have a mungo.
Like a pet mungo. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, it would be a bigger version of your gorilla. Mungos are awesome. Mungos are awesome. Okay,
really big backyard.
I'd have to have a serious acreage. Yeah, but I live in Montana, so we're good for that.
That's true. Yeah, there you are.
We're all about the acreage. Okay, Olga Gonzalez. Holy smokes. See, Olga, she's being an overachiever here. There's 8 damn questions.
Okay.
And I haven't read these in
8?
advance.
All right.
Yeah. So here, you choose randomly, please. 1 through 8. Give me one of the numbers, please.
8.
Okay, 8. Here we go. What's one? Oh, I like this. What's one secret about the diner's origins you wish you could sneak into the storyline?
Okay, Olga, no, stop it. You can't. No spoilers.
Yeah, she
Right.
wrote that so as to not be a spoiler. It's like you're not that you're going to. You wish you could.
Yeah.
I like.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you about the spoiler emails I get. Okay,
I'm sure
here's
you
the
get a
thing.
shitload.
I'm
I
getting
hate
the
spoilers, by the way.
emails. I get emails that are like literally like that go like this, not asking for spoilers, but and then
That's right.
literally ask me for spoilers.
Yeah,
You know,
I know, and I love
do
your
it.
response to it. It's like because if you didn't do that, I would mute that portion of like shift notes or whatever because I hate spoilers. Yeah. So all right, okay, then let's give Olga one more shot if you don't mind. 1 through 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 2.
2. Okay. 2. If Midnight Burger had a jukebox, I like this one already too. If Midnight Burger had a jukebox, what song would be stuck on repeat no matter what dimension you landed in? I like this one.
Okay, stuck on repeat. A song that's stuck on repeat on the jukebox.
No matter where
If
you land. Yeah.
there was in fact a jukebox.
You deserve a pinball machine first, Casper. But after you get the pinball
Thank
machine, then
you.
you get a jukebox. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna say that there's a jukebox on that diner, and
Yep.
that there's a song on repeat
Yeah.
all the time.
I guess.
You
And
know,
it can't be a holy roller
um,
thing that's already being played by Zeb. So
all right, so this has to be something other than gospel music. You're saying,
doesn't have to be
Okay.
contemporary. It could be from the 50s or something, but it's got to be
Right.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, let's put some Journey on, man. Let's do some Don't Stop Believing.
I believe it. I love it. There you go. Olga,
Yeah.
you couldn't possibly hope for a better response than that. Don't stop believing. These are words we can live by. I love it. I love it. Okay, those are all those questions. Stocky Monkey. This is a question that was emailed to Angel. And by the way, a moment for Angel. Let's just give
Thank you
kudos.
very much,
She's-
Angel.
She's such a great representative of the brand that you created. So kudos
Yeah.
to Angel. Saki Monkey. Hey, I'm a big fan of this podcast, and I also have a certain character I really love. Will Ted ever make another appearance in the show? I have loved him for quite a while and have been patiently awaiting his arrival. LOL.
Yeah.
End quote.
That is technically a spoiler.
Oh, okay. That's true. It is.
You know what I mean?
Shame on you.
That is
Shame
technically
on you,
saying
Saki
what's
Monkey,
going to
wherever you are.
happen in the show.
Yeah, then
Right.
disregard it. Yeah, disregard.
But I know what you mean. Listen. There's a lot of love out there. That's another thing that
Ted's
that was
awesome.
another example of us not anticipating how popular something was going to be. Is everyone? Ted was supposed to be the villain, and no matter what he did in season 2, everybody loved that guy. You know,
Yeah. It's kudos to
and
the
that's
actor.
really
my
it.
God.
I mean,
And that's the same actor as Frank,
it's a
right?
testament. It's a testament to Ben, who did
yeah,
did
correct.
such an amazing job. Ben is also, doing such a great job as Frank.
Oh, absolutely.
That it's hard to have him think of him in 2 roles like that. But yeah, I mean, we can't talk about the things that are going to happen. All we can say
I'm
is
with you. Totally agree.
stay tuned, I guess.
Stay tuned. Perfect. Yeah. And thankfully, if you're a Patreon member, you don't have to stay tuned that long for the next little bite. And by the way, I'll say this again, effusive praise. Prepare yourself. I've been a podcast whore. It's another technical term. I've been a podcast whore for years. I listened to a boatload of podcasts, and a lot of scripted fiction podcasts that aspired to be half as good as Midnight Burger. And I say that from the standpoint of the dialogue between your characters is not only beautifully written, it's beautifully acted in a way that feels real. It's there's so many times I've heard podcasts that it's clear that someone's in a sound booth and they're not reacting to each other as actors, where versus you guys all get together as a Zoom, correct? And like make it happen kind of live. Is that right?
Yeah, as much as we can. I mean, there are times when we're not able to, but even when we're not able to all be together, any actor who's recording for us always has a scene partner of some kind or a couple of scene partners of some kind. But there are some times when it's just, the schedule just isn't allowing it. I mean, like I've got some coming up in a week or 2 here that, they're in the UK. So it's kind of hard to get their schedule to line up with us here. So there are things like that happen. But generally speaking, yeah, we like to record with as many people together as possible because having something to react off of in the recording session I think really helps, and also like we like cracking each other up, and so that helps as well. You know.
Because on the instances where you have bloopers at the end of an episode or whatever, it's just clear you guys are having a ball of a time.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
you know, it would be. I mean, why would we be doing it if we weren't having a good time? I mean, it sounds like the kind of show that you're having a good time doing. Luckily, so, and we are. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's you can feel it as a fan, and it's a beautiful thing. When one of the things that when I created our Facebook group, I forced people to agree to the group rules, but B, answer the question, who's your favorite character? And I say, and if you're feeling poetic, then describe why. And it's interesting the responses that I get. Casper, you know, if I should really have statistics for this. It's neck and neck. Casper and Leaf are probably like.
Oh, okay.
Ava gets a ton. And on a couple of occasions, and again, across 400 people, we've got Ted. and I just, those stand out, right? And so I tend to circle those, and they all get saved for anyone that chooses to have their thing shared, because they can respond, but they don't have to share it if they don't want to. So if they say, yes, totally share, then I have them all collected in this album in our group. And so the Ted ones tend to stick out. And back to the show, your interludes episode with you know, where they're dropping bombs away. That is so awesome because you know, you've got Ted, and then who's the other actor? Because he also was
it's Tommy Eisenstein.
Tommy, yeah, because he was Tarek's friend too, right? In the episode from Jerusalem, those two together. That's such a beautiful episode, and it's just so damn fun. And again, you weave it right back to Leaf. I'm sorry, not to Leaf, but to the character that's the tree. I should have all this.
Shell.
Thank you, Shell. Correct. Anyway, but so my point was, again, I get off on these tangents, but my point is, I'm a podcast whore, and I have always thought, maybe I should support with Patreon. Midnight Burger was the first to say, dude, step up. You love this like no other. And so I've been a Patreon member for a while now, and it is so worth it for things like tomorrow night, being able to hear new episodes a month in advance. You get so much content, and the way it's organized on Patreon is just brilliant because you've got it as collections. And so you can re-listen to Young Leaf episodes. You can listen to Welcome to the Horizon. Now, having to wait until the end of September for a new Welcome to the Horizon is going to be painful because what a damn cliffhanger. I mean, you know, Leaf doesn't know why he has a robotic arm, for God's sakes.
Right.
Genius. Okay. I'm out of questions from me and I also want to be respectful of your time. We're almost at the 7:00 hour. I said, 30 to 60 minutes, and we're almost at 60 minutes. Anything else you want to share or talk about, Mr. Joe Fisher, genius? Cult leader?
I don't think so. No, just thank you guys for having me, and it's great to come and be able to interact with people sort of outside of my usual sphere. It's great. It's so great that you set this group up. It sounds like it's a lot of fun for everybody.
It really is. It's a lot of fun, and this is a real treat. So thank you for spending an hour with us on Saturday night, and as I've called it, this is New Season's Eve, and what a perfect way to celebrate New Season's Eve than an hour with Joe Damn Fisher. You get this.
All right.
Like Loaf Track steps into the room.
Look
and
at
she
this.
has
The confetti.
I know it's appropriate. I love it. Thank you again, Jim. And
right.
We look forward to the new season and appreciate it so much. Take care. Bye, everybody.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Everybody who said hi to my kitten. This is a foster kitten I found in my yard, and she needs a home, and I live in Pennsylvania.
Oh, there we go. That was a good pitch. I like that.
I'm Andy on the group. So
cutie. And by the way, thanks everyone who joined and was so kind as to keep your microphone muted. I'm going to share the recording of this chat in our group. So thanks again. And apologies for the damn tech issues at the beginning, but Joe was incredible, of course. See ya.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.